Carl Gustav Jung, 1875–1961, was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychologist who founded analytical psychology. He developed a comprehensive theoretical framework that emphasized the exploration of the unconscious mind, the study of symbols and archetypes, and the process of individuation. Jung's work expanded upon the ideas of Sigmund Freud, but he eventually diverged from Freud's emphasis on the role of sexual drives and placed greater importance on the spiritual and symbolic aspects of human experience. Jung introduced concepts such as the collective unconscious, which refers to the universal, inherited reservoir of human experience and knowledge. He also proposed the existence of archetypes, which are primordial patterns or symbols that are deeply ingrained in the human psyche and influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Furthermore, Jung developed techniques such as active imagination, dream analysis, and the exploration of religious and mythological symbolism to facilitate the process of individuation, the journey towards psychological wholeness and self-realization. Jung's contributions to analytical psychology have had a lasting impact on various fields, including psychology, anthropology, literature, and the arts. His ideas continue to influence contemporary psychology and provide a valuable framework for understanding the complexities of the human psyche. Introduction to Gnosticism as a religious and philosophical movement. Gnosticism is a religious and philosophical movement that emerged during the early centuries of the Common Era. It encompasses a diverse range of beliefs and practices, but it is generally characterized by a dualistic worldview, the pursuit of esoteric knowledge, gnosis, and a distinctive understanding of the nature of the divine and the human condition. Gnostic thought emerged within the context of Hellenistic and Judeo-Christian traditions, blending elements from various philosophical and religious sources. Gnostics held that the material world was fundamentally flawed and was created by a lesser divine being called the demiurge, who was distinct from the supreme, transcendent God. They viewed the human soul as a divine spark trapped within the material realm and sought to liberate it through knowledge and spiritual awakening. Gnostic teachings often emphasize the inherent duality of existence, the struggle between light and darkness, and the potential for divine illumination and redemption. Gnosticism presented alternative interpretations of biblical narratives and developed its own cosmological and mythological frameworks to elucidate the origins of the universe and the human predicament. Exploring the connections between Gnosticism and Jungian psychology is relevant for several reasons. A. Common themes. Both Gnosticism and Jungian psychology address fundamental questions about the nature of the self, the origins of human suffering, and the possibilities for personal transformation. They share common themes, such as the exploration of the unconscious, the quest for self-knowledge, and the importance of symbolic and mythological frameworks for understanding the human psyche. B. Archetypal patterns. Gnostic thought and Jungian psychology recognize the existence of archetypal patterns that shape human experience. Gnostic myths and Jungian archetypes share similarities, such as the motif of the divine spark, the shadow archetype representing repressed aspects of the self, and the concept of the individuated self. C. Spiritual and psychological integration. Both Gnosticism and Jungian psychology emphasize the importance of integration and wholeness. Gnostics sought liberation and union with the divine through gnosis, while Jungian psychology focuses on the process of individuation as a means of integrating the conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche. D. Symbolism and mythology. Gnosticism and Jungian psychology recognize the profound significance of religious symbolism and mythology. Gnostic texts and Jung's exploration of symbols and myths reveal a shared explanation of Gnostic cosmology and the influence of dualistic principles on Jung's psychology. Gnostic cosmology presents a dualistic worldview, which influenced Jung's understanding of the psyche. According to Gnosticism, the material world is seen as flawed and characterized by ignorance and suffering. It is believed to be created by a lower divine being known as the demiurge, who is distinct from the supreme, transcendent God. The demiurge is seen as a flawed creator who is responsible for the imperfect nature of the physical realm. Jung incorporated dualistic principles from Gnostic thought into his psychology. He recognized the inherent tension and opposing forces within the human psyche, such as the conscious and unconscious, the ego and the shadow, and the masculine and feminine aspects. This dualistic understanding aligns with the Gnostic notion of the struggle between light and darkness, or the divine spark in the material world. Jung's concept of the transcendent function, which involves the integration of opposing aspects of the psyche, can be seen as influenced by Gnostic dualistic principles. The transcendent function aims to reconcile opposing forces, leading to the emergence of a higher, more integrated state of consciousness. Analysis of the Gnostic concept of Sophia and its relationship to the anima archetype. In Gnosticism, Sophia is a significant figure representing wisdom and spiritual insight. She is often depicted as a divine feminine figure who has fallen from the pleroma, the divine realm, into the material world. Sophia's fall is seen as a result of her desire to create independently from the supreme God. Jung drew parallels between the Gnostic concept of Sophia and his understanding of the anima archetype. The anima archetype represents the feminine aspects within the male psyche. It embodies qualities such as intuition, emotion, and connection to the unconscious. The anima archetype serves as a bridge between the conscious ego and the deeper layers of the psyche. Jung viewed Sophia and the anima archetype as symbolic representations of the longing for spiritual and psychological integration. Both concepts convey the idea that the reconnection with the feminine aspect, whether within oneself or through relationships with women, is essential for the individuation process and the development of a more complete and balanced personality. Gnostic ideas on the nature of evil and their influence on Jung's theories of the shadow and the integration of the shadow. Gnostic thought offers unique perspectives on the nature of evil, which influenced Jung's understanding of the shadow archetype and its integration. In Gnosticism, the material world is often associated with evil and ignorance, stemming from the flawed nature of the demiurge. The human condition is seen as entangled in a cosmic struggle between the divine and the forces of darkness. Jung incorporated Gnostic ideas on evil into his theories of the shadow archetype. The shadow represents the repressed and unconscious aspects of the self, including desires, impulses, and aspects that are deemed unacceptable by societal norms. Similar to Gnostic thought, Jung recognized the existence of a darker, more chaotic side of the psyche that needs acknowledgement and integration for psychological wholeness. The Gnostic notion of the integration of evil played a role in Jung's understanding of individuation. Jung believed that the integration of the shadow involves recognizing and accepting these darker aspects, leading to a more balanced and integrated personality. By embracing the shadow, individuals can develop a greater awareness of their own capacity for good and evil, promoting a more authentic and conscious engagement with the world. Overall, Gnostic ideas on evil and the integration of the shadow influenced Jung's theories by emphasizing the importance of acknowledging and integrating the unconscious and shadow aspects of the self for personal growth and psychological transformation. Gnostic concept of redemption and its correlation to Jung's theory of individuation. In Gnosticism, redemption is a central theme and refers to the process of liberating the divine spark within the human soul from the constraints of the material world. Gnostics believed that through acquiring gnosis, spiritual knowledge, individuals could awaken to their true nature and transcend the limitations imposed by the flawed material realm. Jung's theory of individuation shares similarities with the Gnostic concept of redemption. Individuation is a transformative process in which individuals strive to achieve wholeness and self-realization. It involves integrating and harmonizing various aspects of the psyche, including the conscious and unconscious, the personal and collective, and the masculine and feminine. Both redemption in Gnosticism and individuation in Jungian psychology emphasize the importance of self-discovery, self-transcendence, and the realization of one's inner potential. Both processes involve a movement towards a more authentic and integrated state of being, transcending the constraints of societal conditioning and personal limitations. The role of self-discovery in the quest for wholeness in both Gnosticism and Jungian psychology. Self-discovery and the quest for wholeness are significant themes in both Gnosticism and Jungian psychology. Gnostics sought to gain self-knowledge and spiritual insight through the process of gnosis, which involved introspection, contemplation, and the exploration of one's inner experiences. By understanding their true nature and origin, Gnostics believed they could transcend the limitations of the material world and attain liberation. Similarly, Jungian psychology emphasizes the importance of self-discovery as a means of achieving psychological wholeness. Jung argued that individuals have a unique inner essence that needs to be recognized and integrated into their conscious awareness. This process involves exploring the unconscious through dreams, active imagination, and the analysis of personal and collective symbols. Through self-discovery, individuals become more aware of their strengths, weaknesses, desires, and fears, leading to a greater sense of authenticity and alignment with their true selves. Both Gnosticism and Jungian psychology recognize that the quest for wholeness involves confronting and integrating the various aspects of the self, including the unconscious and shadow elements. By engaging in the process of self-discovery, individuals can cultivate a deeper understanding of themselves, their motivations, and their potential, ultimately leading to a more authentic and meaningful existence. Gnostic views on salvation and Jung's notion of psychological transformation. Gnostic views on salvation and Jung's notion of psychological transformation share common themes, yet differ in their focus and scope. Gnosticism emphasizes the salvation of the divine spark within the individual, aiming to liberate it from the constraints of the material world. The Gnostic path involves acquiring spiritual knowledge, gnosis, and awakening to one's true nature. Jung's concept of psychological transformation, on the other hand, encompasses a broader understanding of personal growth and development. While Gnosticism primarily focuses on the liberation of the divine spark, Jungian psychology emphasizes the integration of various aspects of the psyche to achieve wholeness and individuation. Psychological transformation in Jungian psychology involves transcending personal limitations, exploring the depths of the unconscious, and integrating both the light and dark aspects of the self. Both Gnosticism and Jungian psychology recognize the transformative power of self-awareness and the exploration of the inner world. They share a belief that salvation or psychological transformation is an ongoing process rather than a static goal. Both emphasize the importance of active engagement, self-reflection, and the cultivation of consciousness to achieve a more authentic and meaningful existence. Gnostic perspectives on the divine spark within the human psyche and its resonance with Jung's concept of the collective unconscious. Gnosticism posits the existence of a divine spark within the human psyche, often referred to as the pneuma or the divine spark of light. This divine spark is believed to originate from the transcendent realm and is seen as a fragment of the divine essence. Gnostics viewed the human soul as being entrapped in the material world and sought to awaken the divine spark through gnosis, liberating it from the confines of the physical realm. Jung's concept of the collective unconscious bears resonance with the Gnostic idea of the divine spark. The collective unconscious, as proposed by Jung, is a vast reservoir of shared, universal psychic material that transcends individual consciousness. It contains archetypes, which are primordial patterns and symbols that shape human experiences, behaviors, and beliefs. These archetypes are considered to be innate and inherited, residing in the collective unconscious and exerting a profound influence on the individual psyche. The divine spark in Gnosticism can be seen as parallel to the collective unconscious in Jungian psychology. Both concepts acknowledge the presence of a deeper, transcendent dimension within the human psyche. They suggest that individuals are connected to a larger, collective pool of psychic material that influences their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. The divine spark resonates with the idea that humans possess an innate connection to the divine, while the collective unconscious reflects the shared psychic heritage that extends beyond individual experience. Archetypal motifs found in Gnostic texts and their relevance to Jung's theory of archetypes. Gnostic texts contain rich symbolism and mythological motifs that align with Jung's theory of archetypes. Archetypes, in Jungian psychology, are universal patterns or primordial images that are present in the collective unconscious. They manifest as recurring themes, characters, or symbols in myths, dreams, and religious traditions across cultures. Gnostic texts feature archetypal motifs such as the divine feminine figure, Sophia, the trickster figure, the demiurge, the serpent, the cosmic battle between light and darkness, and the journey of self-discovery. These motifs resonate with Jung's understanding of archetypes as fundamental psychic structures that shape human experiences and narratives. For example, Sophia in Gnostic thought represents the archetypal feminine wisdom figure. This corresponds to Jung's concept of the anima archetype, which embodies the feminine qualities within the male psyche. Both concepts highlight the transformative potential of embracing the feminine aspects and integrating them into consciousness. The Gnostic motif of the demiurge, a flawed creator deity, aligns with the shadow archetype in Jungian psychology. The demiurge represents the dark, repressive, and unconscious aspects that need to be acknowledged and integrated for psychological wholeness. Similarly, the serpent in Gnostic texts can be seen as an archetype of transformation, symbolizing both wisdom and temptation, echoing the transformative potential of the snake archetype in Jung's framework. The archetypal motifs found in Gnostic texts enrich Jung's theory of archetypes by providing diverse mythological symbols and narratives that resonate with the collective human experience and offer insights into the deeper layers of the psyche. Comparison of Gnostic mythological figures, for example, the Pleroma, the demiurge, and Jungian archetypes. Gnostic mythological figures, such as the Pleroma and the demiurge, share similarities with Jungian archetypes in terms of their symbolic and psychological significance. The Pleroma in Gnosticism represents the divine, transcendent realm, often associated with light, perfection, and unity. It corresponds to the idea of the self in Jungian psychology. The self is an archetype that represents the totality and wholeness of the psyche, embodying the integration of all opposites. Both the Pleroma and the self convey the notion of a higher, transcendent aspect that encompasses and unifies all aspects of the psyche. The demiurge in Gnosticism, seen as a flawed creator or a false god, shares similarities with the shadow archetype in Jungian psychology. The demiurge represents the dark, ignorant, and unconscious aspects of the psyche. Similarly, the shadow archetype embodies the repressed and hidden aspects of the self that need to be integrated and acknowledged for individuation and psychological growth. Both Gnostic mythological figures and Jungian archetypes serve as symbolic representations of fundamental psychic forces and patterns that shape human experience. They highlight the complexity of the psyche and offer insights into the dynamics of personal and collective transformation. While Gnostic mythological figures and Jungian archetypes share similarities, it is important to note that they emerge from different cultural and historical contexts. While Gnostic figures were specific to Gnostic thought, Jungian archetypes aim to capture universal patterns of the collective unconscious. Thus, while there may be resonance and parallels between the two, they should be understood within their respective frameworks. Gnostic alchemical symbolism and its correspondence to Jung's concept of the transcendent function. Gnostic thought incorporates alchemical symbolism as a means of understanding the transformative processes within the human psyche. Alchemy, both in Gnosticism and in Jungian psychology, involves the symbolic transmutation of psychic material towards a higher state of consciousness. The Gnostic alchemical symbolism often includes concepts such as purification, dissolution, separation, and conjunction. These processes mirror Jung's concept of the transcendent function, which refers to the integration of opposing forces within the psyche. In alchemy, purification represents the removal of impurities and attachments that hinder spiritual growth. Similarly, in the transcendent function, the individual engages in self-reflection and introspection to separate the authentic aspects of the self from conditioned patterns and societal expectations. Dissolution in alchemy refers to the breaking down of fixed structures and rigid beliefs, allowing for a more fluid and transformative experience. This aligns with the concept of ego dissolution in the transcendent function, where the ego's rigid identification with a particular identity or belief system is loosened, enabling a more expansive and inclusive perspective. The process of separation in alchemy involves discerning and distinguishing the various elements within the psyche. This corresponds to the differentiation of opposing forces and conflicting aspects of the self in the transcendent function. Through this process, one gains a deeper understanding of the multiplicity and complexity of the psyche. Conjunction in alchemy signifies the union of opposites, often symbolized by the marriage of the sun and moon or the union of masculine and feminine principles. This union leads to the emergence of a higher, integrated state of consciousness. Similarly, the transcendent function involves the integration and synthesis of opposing aspects of the psyche, such as the conscious and unconscious, leading to a more balanced and unified state of being. The correspondence between Gnostic alchemical symbolism and Jung's concept of the transcendent function lies in their shared emphasis on the transformative processes of purification, dissolution, separation, and conjunction. Both frameworks recognize the necessity of integrating opposing forces and transcending limited perspectives for psychological and spiritual growth. The process of psychic integration and the union of opposites in Gnosticism and analytical psychology. Gnosticism and analytical psychology share a common emphasis on the process of psychic integration and the union of opposites as a path towards wholeness and transformation. In Gnosticism, the process of psychic integration involves reconciling the divine spark, pneuma, with the material world. It entails liberating the divine essence from the constraints of the lower realms and achieving a harmonious unity between the spiritual and material aspects of existence. This integration is seen as a means of transcending the limitations and ignorance of the material realm. Similarly, analytical psychology, particularly Jung's concept of individuation, centers on the process of integrating opposing forces within the psyche. This includes the integration of conscious and unconscious aspects, masculine and feminine qualities, and personal and collective influences. Through this process, individuals develop a more complete and authentic sense of self. Both Gnosticism and analytical psychology acknowledge the inherent tension and conflict between opposing forces and the transformative potential that arises from their integration. By engaging with and integrating these opposing aspects, individuals gain a deeper understanding of themselves and the world, leading to increased self-awareness and psychological growth. The union of opposites in both Gnosticism and analytical psychology is essential for achieving wholeness and transcending limited perspectives. It involves recognizing and reconciling the dualistic nature of existence, such as light and darkness, good and evil, or spirit and matter. By embracing the paradoxical and integrating the polarities, individuals can attain a more balanced and unified state of being. Comparison of Gnostic ideas on spiritual transformation and Jung's understanding of psychological alchemy. Gnostic ideas on spiritual transformation and Jung's understanding of psychological alchemy share common themes regarding the processes of inner growth and self-realization. In Gnosticism, spiritual transformation involves the awakening of the divine spark within the individual and the liberation of the soul from the entrapment of the material world. This transformation is facilitated through the acquisition of spiritual knowledge, gnosis, and the pursuit of a direct, personal connection with the transcendent realm. Jung's understanding of psychological alchemy is rooted in the transformative potential of the individuation process. Psychological alchemy involves the transmutation of psychic material, where individuals engage in self-reflection, confront their unconscious aspects, and integrate opposing forces within the psyche. This process leads to psychological growth, self-realization, and the attainment of a more authentic and integrated sense of self. Both Gnosticism and Jungian psychology recognize the significance of inner work and the active engagement with the depths of the psyche. They emphasize the importance of self-discovery, self-transcendence, and the integration of unconscious material for transformation and personal growth. While Gnosticism focuses on the liberation of the divine spark and the pursuit of gnosis, Jungian psychology emphasizes the integration of various aspects of the psyche for individuation. However, both frameworks acknowledge the transformative power of inner work in the realization of one's true nature. In summary, Gnostic ideas on spiritual transformation and Jung's understanding of psychological alchemy converge in their recognition of the transformative potential within the human psyche. Both perspectives highlight the processes of integration, union of opposites, and the cultivation of self-awareness as essential elements for personal growth, individuation, and the attainment of a more authentic and unified sense of self. The influence of religious symbolism on Jung's understanding of the psyche. Religious symbolism had a significant influence on Jung's understanding of the psyche. Jung recognized the profound impact that religious and mythological narratives have on shaping human consciousness and behavior. He believed that religious symbols and rituals are expressions of deep psychological processes and archetypal patterns that reside within the collective unconscious. Jung considered religious symbols as manifestations of archetypes, universal patterns that represent fundamental aspects of the human psyche. He viewed religious symbols as bridges between the conscious and unconscious realms, allowing individuals to connect with the numinous and transcendent dimensions of existence. Jung's exploration of religious symbolism extended beyond specific religious traditions. He studied and drew insights from various religions, including Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, and indigenous belief systems. By examining the shared themes and symbols present in different religious traditions, Jung aimed to uncover the universal psychological truths underlying religious experiences. For Jung, religious symbolism offered a rich vocabulary to explore and articulate the complexities of the human psyche. It provided a framework to understand the processes of transformation, individuation, and the search for meaning in life. By delving into religious symbolism, Jung sought to deepen his understanding of the human psyche and to shed light on the psychological and spiritual dimensions of human existence. Jung's interpretation of mythological narratives and their connection to the individuation process. Jung interpreted mythological narratives as expressions of the collective unconscious and saw them as symbolic representations of psychological processes, including the individuation process. He believed that myths are not mere fanciful tales but contain profound psychological truths that reflect universal human experiences and aspirations. Jung saw myths as narratives that depict the journey of the individual psyche towards wholeness and self-realization. Myths often portray archetypal motifs and characters that represent different aspects of the psyche and stages of psychological development. They depict the struggles, conflicts, transformations, and transcendent experiences that individuals encounter on their path to individuation. By studying and analyzing myths from various cultures, Jung aimed to uncover the common psychological patterns and themes they contain. He believed that engaging with mythological narratives can provide individuals with insights into their own personal journey of growth and transformation. Myths serve as mirrors through which individuals can gain a deeper understanding of themselves, their unconscious dynamics, and the archetypal forces at play in their lives. Jung emphasized the importance of recognizing and integrating the symbolic messages contained in myths. By engaging with mythological narratives, individuals can tap into the collective wisdom of the human psyche and gain a broader perspective on their personal development. The interpretation of myths offers a valuable tool for self-reflection, self-discovery, and the exploration of the archetypal dimensions of the human psyche. The significance of Jung's Red Book and its relationship to Gnostic and mythological themes. Jung's Red Book holds great significance in his body of work and offers insights into his exploration of Gnostic and mythological themes. The Red Book documents Jung's personal journey of self-discovery and his encounters with the depths of the unconscious. In the Red Book, Jung engaged in active imagination, a method through which he dialogued with his inner figures and explored the symbolic landscapes of his psyche. The book contains vivid illustrations, narratives, and reflections that depict Jung's encounters with archetypal figures, mythological motifs, and Gnostic themes. The Red Book showcases Jung's deep engagement with Gnostic ideas, particularly the concept of individuation and the search for spiritual transformation. Jung's encounters with mythological and Gnostic figures within the Red Book reflect his exploration of the symbolic language of the collective unconscious and his quest for personal integration and self-realization. The Red Book's relationship to Gnostic and mythological themes lies in its depiction of archetypal motifs and symbolic narratives that resonate with Gnostic and mythological traditions. Through his personal experiences documented in the Red Book, Jung aimed to connect with the collective wisdom of humanity's spiritual and psychological heritage, drawing inspiration from Gnostic and mythological sources. The Red Book serves as a testament to Jung's own individuation process, showcasing his deep engagement with religious, mythological, and Gnostic symbolism. It provides a window into the depths of the human psyche and highlights the transformative power of engaging with symbolic imagery and narratives as a means of personal and collective growth. Throughout our exploration of the connections between Gnostic thought, religion, myths, and Jungian psychology, several key findings and connections have emerged. A. Influence of Gnostic thought. Gnostic ideas have influenced Jungian psychology through their emphasis on self-knowledge, spiritual transformation, and the recognition of the transcendent aspect of the psyche. Gnostic concepts such as the divine spark, Sophia, redemption, and the pleroma have resonance with Jungian concepts like the collective unconscious, archetypes, individuation, and the transcendent function. B. Mythological narratives. Both Gnosticism and Jungian psychology recognize the significance of mythological narratives as symbolic representations of universal psychological truths. Mythological motifs and archetypal figures serve as mirrors through which individuals can gain insights into their own psychological journey, the integration of opposing forces, and the quest for wholeness and self-realization. C. Psychological integration. Gnostic thought and Jungian psychology emphasize the process of psychic integration and the union of opposites as essential for personal growth and individuation. By acknowledging and integrating the diverse aspects of the psyche, individuals can achieve a more balanced, harmonious, and authentic sense of self. D. Symbolism and religious influences. Both Gnostic thought and Jungian psychology recognize the significance of religious symbolism as a means of understanding the depths of the psyche. Religious symbols, rituals, and narratives offer a rich vocabulary to explore the complexities of the human psyche and tap into the numinous and transcendent dimensions of existence. The final reflection on the enduring relevance of these influences in contemporary analytical psychology. The influences of Gnostic thought, religion, myths, and Jungian psychology continue to be relevant in contemporary analytical psychology. They provide a framework for understanding the complexities of the human psyche and offer valuable tools for personal growth and self-realization. The exploration of Gnostic ideas, religious symbolism, and mythological narratives allows individuals to delve into the depths of the psyche, confront their unconscious dynamics, and engage in the process of integration and individuation. These influences provide a language and a lens through which individuals can make sense of their own psychological experiences and navigate their journey towards wholeness and self-discovery. Moreover, the enduring relevance of these influences lies in their capacity to address existential questions, provide meaning, and offer a sense of connection to something greater than oneself. In an increasingly secular and fragmented world, the exploration of Gnostic thought, religion, myths, and Jungian psychology can offer individuals a sense of depth, purpose, and spiritual orientation.